What's up guys, so Konami have released the Thursday update and we have a pack of Kaka, Nedved and Guti. So we're going to do a training guide and recommend the best skills for those guys. But first I just want to look at the update overall because there are a few other things they added as well. So they added 3 free Manchester United players, Ainu, Diallo and Martinez. So I really like Martinez in this game. He's very good ball playing centre back. I hope I get him on my free to play account. And Ainu wouldn't be a bad centre mid either. He's a good box to box. Great starting stats, so you can get him 28 levels up to a decent level. Doesn't have many skills, but he does have a few important ones. He does have interception and one-touch pass, so he just really needs true passing, and then he'll be usable in centre mid. Diallo, as a prolific winger, he doesn't actually look too bad, and the reason I know this is because actually if you use him in game, he just feels really nimble and agile on the ball. He's got good ID in the game. But he might not have the craziest dribbling stats here, but when you use him in game, you will definitely feel it, and he does have good balance anyway. So I honestly don't think this is a bad selection at all. When you log in, you get a free spin. Now we've gotten Diallo. You can see here you get the other spins as well from completing objectives. Keeping with the Manchester United team, they have a new Amarin pack out, so you're going to get 11 players. And is there any duplicate players there? No, none of the players that are coming for free are in this pack. So at least there's no doubling up there, but I really wouldn't recommend this. I think this is not a great deal. For one, if you just look at Garnacho, for example, he doesn't have skills still. But these cards are not like any meaningful upgrades. They're just basically the GP versions with maybe plus 1 or 2 on a few stats. And then as the manager Amarim, keep in mind he's 1,500 points. He's only got one playstyle you can play at 88, which is quick counter, which is probably the best playstyle anyway. Gets a boost to speed and attacking awareness, which actually is pretty good. Like I think that those are 2 stats that really help, particularly speed. Obviously attacking awareness is only going to really help for your forward players, but instead you can just get Frank Lampard for 500 points and he can play quick counter at 88 and out wide, and his booster is balance plus 1, which is going to be useful on every single player on the pitch. Maybe your keeper won't need balance, but every other position does benefit from having balance. But I definitely go for Frank Lampard. I think the Amarin pack really isn't worth it. I've also got a new kit for 100 coins, which I actually don't have a problem with. I mean, if it's only 100 coins, I think it's a good deal. Usually they charge a little bit more, so for 100 that's not bad. And then there's a new player of the week out as well, so there's actually a few decent players. This guy's very well rounded, he can play right back as well. And Gisa looks like a solid centre mid with good playstyles, rather player skills. He is just missing true passing. I'm not the biggest fan of Rafinha in this game. I just don't think, similar to how I was talking about with Diallo. Diallo feels really good in the ball. I think Rafinha doesn't feel great in the game. But 2 players that do are Dembele. You can see on the stats there, he's getting 85s on pretty much every relevant stat except for finishing. With the 85 balance there, I'm liking the look of, and he also has a boost around finishing, so it's not going to be as bad. And he has some decent skills as well. And then Konami's golden boy is Kubo, so they have another Kubo in. This one has the ball roll. I don't think he usually comes with ball roll, so that's actually not a bad player of the week selection at all. Limer as well has really good ID. Whenever I played in competitions, I always use Bayern Munich, and he was one of my favorite players to use. It also looks like we're getting Inzaghi, Nakata, and a Blitzcurler Del Piero on Monday. I don't think that's going to be a great pack. Del Piero will be good, but we already have a Blitzcurler Del Piero in the game, so I assume anyone who was interested in that when it came out already has them. And also, there is a leak that crossplay might be coming. I mean, there's a few kind of every week we get something new, like a little tidbit of information, but apparently some data miners or something have seen this text in the game. But does it indicate that only mobile and Xbox are getting crossplay or all console? I don't know. So hopefully Xbox and PlayStation will play together, because I think the Xbox player base isn't really that large. So I assume they want PlayStation players. Maybe they don't. Maybe they want to just chill out on Xbox. The Xbox version is a lot more responsive than the PlayStation version. So I hope if crossplay comes out, I can just use my PlayStation account on the Xbox, because whenever I play on Xbox, it feels like a different game. There's an eFootball points Harry Maguire, who actually kind of usually feels alright in the game, but he doesn't have a lot of skills. So, I mean, he's probably worth getting just because those eFootball points are useless. I have 23,000 there. Top right now, my webcam's in the way. So it's not like it's going to be a waste of them, because they have no other use, so you might as well get them. But you could have just given them a few more skills to make them more usable. And also, if you go on eFootball Hub on the homepage, there's these 4 players here. I actually don't know what they are or where they're coming from, so if anyone in the comments can kind of clarify, or maybe I'll find out after recording the video what these 4 cards are. I assume they're free to play cards. I'm not 100% sure. It's a different design. Can we see any indication actually if we click again? It doesn't tell us like what card they are, like what promo they're in. That could be pretty interesting. Actually, wait. Arnold's linked with Madrid. He's linked with PSG. I was thinking maybe it was players linked to move away. Saka and Saliba definitely shouldn't be moving. Yeah, I don't know what these 4 cards are, but looks like they're coming out soon anyway. So we'll go on to the Kaka Nedved Guti training guide. So first off, the first player is Kaka. Stats wise, I think he looks pretty good, but there is one problem with the card that you might have noticed already, and it is creative playmaker. Now, I think creative playmakers are very good in this game, and I think they're better than whole players usually, but I think Kaka is an exception. I think he's one of the players that you should have as a whole player, and you should be able to use his pace to a greater degree. Now, it isn't like this Kaka is going to be bad at all, but I think actually overall, arguably, as a creative playmaker, he could be better than he would be as a whole player. But the thing is, in terms of when you're building your team, the Kaka whole player is a bit of a unique card, because I just don't think whole players are usually effective. But Nedved is a whole player too, and I think he's one of the exceptions as well. So all's not lost in terms of finding your whole player. But look, if we make the build here, this is what it looks like for the boosts. If we put all the boosts on, see it's pretty decent. But if we go back to the no boost, you can see there is one stat below 84. We want to change that. So in terms of your booster, just put on something that's going to give him a boost to anything to do with dribbling, really. You can put that on, then you can take a point. Right, technique is probably better. So if you put technique on, go like this, then you take a point off the dribbling, and then you put it into the shooting, and that means you get up to the 90 finishing, and then that last point can, I guess, can go into aerial strength. So look, there, I think the card looks pretty good. That kick and power is going to really help. Great finishing, great passing, dribbling, everything's pretty good. If you want to change the build a little bit, maybe you're not worried about the kick and power that much, you can just take the lower body strength down a little bit and put the rest of the points back into dexterity. You can even go further if you want, then you're getting into territory that he's not going to be as fast. You'd probably have to take dribbling, or sorry, rather finishing down in that instance. Yeah, overall, pretty good card. If we go into the skills, he starts off with a decent bunch. He does have momentum dribbling. I think you will notice it on him just because of his pace. So for the skills I'd recommend on him, I'd go for flip flap, get that level 3 double touch. He already has double touch and soul control. I'd go for acrobatic finishing. His balance isn't that high. I think you're probably going to need it on Kaka. Long range shooting might be alright as well. Because I have more than 5 skills recommended, you're going to have to make a sacrifice somewhere. Cut behind and turn, I just like cut behind and turn and all my attacking players, even my centre mids actually. So I pretty much would put cut behind and turn on most players. If you're someone who doesn't use cut behind and turn, or a recommendation. I'd probably give him Fighting Spirit just to help him when he is, dribbling into a crowded area. It'll help him perform better when defenders are near him. And then there's a few other skills. But that's the 5 skills I would go with. There's 2 other skills that other people might kind of be curious about. You could put outside curler on him. He has got high weak foot, but I think outside curler will help. And then also scissors feint isn't a bad idea on Kaka. I feel like, I don't know exactly what it is about the player model, but whenever I use my old version of Kaka, his scissors feints aren't amazing. Just due to his long legs, I think his leg coverage must be higher than usual, or leg length, base height, or something, than most dribblers. So his scissors feints are really good. So I wouldn't be opposed to putting scissors feint on Kaka. Next we'll go on to Nedved, who is the whole player, and I think this guy looks pretty good. You can see here without the boost real quick. He's got 85 finishing, 85 curl. His physical stats are insane, and he's got a good dribbling too. So we put the boosters on. Looks like a very strong card. If you were to put a second booster on, obviously you're gonna try and get that lower body strength down from 14 to 13. So if you went agility like that, and then you took off the lower body, you'd have 4 more points to invest, and those 4 points could probably go into dribbling to get the 85 on the ball control, and then he's going to be a little bit better on the ball. The stats wise, I think he looks pretty good, and then we'll go on to his skills. He looks like this. So he doesn't have double touch, which is something he's pretty much going to need. Then he doesn't also have first time shot, and he's the type of player that he would benefit from first time shot. A lot of the kind of competitive players actually use Nedved. He's just very versatile, very quick, strong, just a well-rounded card, and he also has the very high weak foot, of course. So players like him are very well sought after by kind of people who play competitively, just because he can kind of show up anywhere on the pitch and do a job. So yeah, I'd go for double touch and first time shot. I'd probably go for track back. Again, I'm recommending put behind and turn. And then there's 2 skills here I have to recommend, but I actually don't think you need either of them. But I'm going to give my reasons why. So I would consider acrobatic finishing, but if we look at his build again, he has really high balance, and I've kind of turned a corner recently on acrobatic finishing. I think if you have really high balance, you don't need it, but you might need Fighting Spirit. So if you don't put acrobatic finishing on, probably put Fighting Spirit on him. And the last skill I would consider is Super Sub, just because if you need to hold on to a lead. or like this guy would be very good for kind of helping out in defense, but still being a really good goal scoring threat. Because he's the whole player, the super sub bonus will boost his attacking awareness, and that'll really work with whole player. And he's really fast, so he will be able to get himself into good positions. But yeah, little interesting player, definitely a workhorse. So next we'll go on to Guti, and Guti is an orchestrator. I don't know if this has been done before. I was kind of shocked that he'd be a creative playmaker or a whole player like usual. So if we look at his build, see without the boost, it looks like this. So pretty good stats, 85s everywhere except for the finishing, but I don't think you're gonna be able to really get it. But you don't really need it. It's an orchestrator. Like even 80 finishing would be because some people would consider overkill on an orchestrator. I really liked it. Perlo can or Chavi for me pop up with a goal from time to time. But this is what it looks like with the boost. You can see he has got decent aggression. Very well rounded dribbling. The reason I have to pass that high, obviously I can never really go above 88 on the low pass, but I think lofted pass does benefit going into the 90s. Not that you're going to be doing many lofted passes with him, but it is probably just something in case you end up in a situation where you have to do a lofted pass. His balance is quite good. I gave him 6 points into defending. I just want to get 70s really, and those 2 points in aerial are just left over points. So for the booster, you'd probably take the boosters off for a sec. For that second booster, obviously sorry, I just got a notification there. 11 points in lower body strength looks like the kind of booster you want to work around, but if you take off any points, you're losing that 85 speed, and I think speed is one of the most important attributes for centre midfielders, just because they can cover a lot of ground quickly. The next highest would be balance, then again, or sorry, dexterity, but you're going to have the same problem with balance. So after that, it's dribbling. So you probably just put something on to improve the dribbling. So I don't know, technique boosts, low pass as well. So Fantasista would probably be better. But put Fantasista on, probably even just leave it there, or you could take off dribbling and invest a point elsewhere. So if you went like that, get a little bit more depending, or just leave it as is. Actually, take off the aerial strength. Let me try get this dribbling to 95. Yeah, 95 ball control, 95 type possession. So if you take off one shooting, you could just take off one passing as well. Actually, that decision's up to you. Yeah, you get 95s on the ball control and type possession. And I think stats wise, he looks pretty good. He's definitely going to be a more offensive minded orchestrator. If you look at his skills, I'd recommend he just needs interception first off. Then I'd go for cut behind and turn again. I think I recommended that in all of them. Probably go for first time shot. Fighting spirit, because orchestrators, you can pass it into your orchestrator and then try and dribble out of trouble. So when you get pressured, you want to be better on that. You can also put gamesmanship on for a similar purpose. And then I would go for long range shooting as well. Sorry, not as well. You're gonna have to choose between probably fighting spirit and gamesmanship. Probably go for fighting spirit, but long range shooting won't be bad either. So my overall thoughts on the pack, I'm a bit disappointed that Kaka, 1, isn't the whole player, and 2, just he isn't as fast. I think if we go back to my build for a sec, actually, he doesn't have the acceleration really that you probably should have, or the balance. Like, I know obviously you can just invest more points into it to get it up there, but then you're taking too many points elsewhere. So I think that's a bit disappointing, and also he is a great playmaker. Like, I really feel like they won't commit to making up like that really fast Kaka that he used to be. So that's a bit disappointing. He still will be very good in game. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. And Nedved is a really common feature, as I said, in competitive players' teams. So not a bad pack overall. I probably wouldn't go for it unless Kaka and Nedved are 2 players you really like in real life and you don't have a version of them. But if you do have versions of them, I'd probably just pick this pack as skip. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.